Hey everyone, today I'm coming at you with a Blue Eyes Felgrand deck profile. Before I get started, I'd like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, let's get started with the profile. To start off, we have triple Blue Eyes White Dragon. Next off, we have triple Blue Eyes Alternative. This card does is you reveal a Blue Eyes in hand to special summon it, and then it pops a monster your opponent controls, or it can, but it can't attack that turn. Good for synchros, rank 8s, and just adding problematic things that you can't just beat over. Then we've got double Dragon Spirit of White, out your opponent's back row, and if it's on the field and you have a Blue Eyes in hand, you can tag out into the Blue Eyes. And we've got the one Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand. When he's revived from the graveyard, he can banish something your opponent controls or in their graveyard and gains attack equal to their level times 100. And then also when he attacks over something, you can revive a level 7 or 8 dragon in grave except for himself, which is pretty useful. Next off, we have the one of a Morphage Goliath. It locks your opponent out of their extra deck, which is useful, and you typically bring it out pretty easily in this deck. You got the one of Archbrave Dragon. This is something you're going to try to send to grave the same turn you do either a Morphage Goliath or Divine Felgrand, because during the next standby phase, meaning your opponent's standby phase, it summons a level 7 or 8 dragon from grave except itself. Next off, we have triple Galaxy Soldier. Discard a light monster to special summon it in defense position, and then once per turn, after doing that, you can search another copy of itself. So there's a play I like to do with this card that I'll go into later, but that's in here for a particular extra deck play that you'll see as well. We've got double Ash Blossom. This card, what you do is, like, your opponent searches something or wants to send something from deck to grave, you just discard this and negate that. Good for interrupting them. We've got triple Sage with Eyes of Blue. When this card's normal summoned, it searches a level 1 Light Tuner from your deck, and then also, if you control something like a White Stone or something, you can send, or if you have this, you special summon that, and then its search gets ashed, you can use this on that. Discard it, tribute a monster you control, and summon a Blue Eyes from deck, which is pretty useful. We got then triple White Stone of Ancients. What this card does is, the turn it was sent to grave, if it's in the grave during the end phase, special summon a Blue Eyes from deck. And then also, if it's in the graveyard and you have a Blue Eyes monster in grave, you can once per turn you can banish one of these to add the Blue Eyes monster back to your hand, which is useful. We've got double Effect Veiler. Stopping your opponent's effects during their turn is pretty useful, and it's also searchable with Sage. And then we also have the one White Stone of Legend. This is the card I was talking about earlier when I was mentioning Galaxy Soldier. Because if you have both of these in hand, you can special summon the Galaxy Soldier by discarding this. Then this effect will activate, and then this effect. So you add another Galaxy Soldier, then this effect activates, and you get a Blue Eyes in hand that you can use to discard for your second Galaxy Soldier. And then do the extra deck play that I'm going to go into with that. Anyway, that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. We've got triple Melody of Awakening Dragon. You discard a card to search a dragon monster with Blue Eyes stats. Really good for getting your alternative out. I know Red Eyes has a thing that's like alternative, but it's not seeing a lot of play in Red Eyes decks, and I think primarily it's because they don't have a version of this, and I think if they did, that it would see more play. Anyway, digressions aside, we have Return of the Dragon Lords, revive a level 7 or 8 dragon from grave, and then also, if a dragon monster you control is going to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this from your graveyard instead to protect it. Pretty useful. Then we've got triple Trade-In. Pretty self-explanatory. You're playing 10 level 8s in this deck, so getting them to grave to either be revived or whatever, then you can draw 2 cards, which is important. You've got double Dragon Shrine to help set up your graveyard, because it's a pretty graveyard-based deck. You got double Cards of Consonance for because your white stones can be searched with Sage, and then this gives you more draws. And then if both this card effect goes off and the stone, then it's always a +1, which is pretty nice. Then we have the one of Dragon Ravine to help set up your grave. The one of Silver's Cry. Like, what I typically do with Silver's Cry is I'll set this and have like a Dragon Spirit of White engrave. And when my opponent sets back row, like during their end phase, I'll just activate that to get rid of their back row before they can use it. And then Dragon Ravine, you discard a card to send a dragon from deck to grave. Like I said, help set up your grave. Let's go into the extra deck next. To start off, we have double Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. It can tag itself out for other light dragon synchro monsters, and then also it basically shuts down pendulum summoning with its can't special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time effect, and it can also negate one thing in your opponent's graveyard, which is pretty useful. Next up, we have the one Azure Silver Dragon. You're going to go into this guy kind of often with Blue Eyes Spirit. It protects itself from the destruction effect that this thing puts on it. It protects your other dragons as well, and also during your standby phases, it summons normal dragons from your grave, which is pretty useful for getting out like a Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon or something. Or a Dragon Spirit of White, excuse me. A Dragon Spirit of White or a Blue Eyes White Dragon. You got the one of Crystal Wing. It gains attack when it battles stuff, and then also it can negate a couple things, which is pretty useful. Stardust Spark, something else to go into with Blue Eyes Spirit. It protects itself or other dragons you control. The one of Black Rose Moonlight bounces things. Typically what you're going to do is, with this, is you're going to have this on board, go into this the next turn, summon a light tuner, probably like one you search with Sage or something, and then go into this. Next off, we have Heart Earth Dragon. This guy's pretty interesting. Typically what you're going to do is you're going to use this with another Xyz monster you control, so you don't summon him a lot, but if you want to, you can. Now this is a card that's pretty important in here. Draglubion. Detach a material to special summon a dragon number Xyz monster from your extra deck. Attach another dragon number Xyz monster, or number Xyz monster, and then for the rest of the turn you can't special summon, but it's still pretty good for kind of cheating out those Xyz monsters. Then we've got the one of Galaxy Eyes Tachyon. The Titanic Galaxy for negates. We've got Sun Dragon for non-targeting removal. Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon Infinity. This is what you're going into with Galaxy Soldier. You're going to make the 2 Galaxy Soldiers go into this, then go into that, and it's another negate you have on board. And also it can suck up your opponent's stuff, which is pretty important. Now this guy, number 100 Numerion Dragon. This is what you're typically going into with Draglubion, and you're attaching Heart Earth Dragon to it. It gains attack for all the Xyz monsters you control, and this deck can put out Xyz pretty easily. So, like for the ranks of Xyz monsters. So if you just have this and this, it's going to be at 9,000 attack already, and then if you have another one, it's going to keep gaining and gaining and gaining. So you can attack with this and do a crap load of damage. And then last but not least, we have Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. Can attack twice on monsters, and if it fails to destroy something by battle, it banishes it. And what's great about this is it's a contact fusion, so if you have like a Blue Eyes White Dragon and then an alternative, or 2 alternatives, or 2 Blue Eyes, you could just drop this on them, which is pretty nice. Next off, we have the side deck. Got the one of Dingirsu. Then you've got your Starving Venom, and your 2 Predaplants, and your Appaloosa. These guys serve like 2 purposes. This guy you can put in your extra deck if you are so inclined. This one only really serves 1 purpose. And that purpose is Ghost Reaper. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you discard this, show something in your extra deck, and then they banish all copies of that from their extra deck. So it's good for that because you can out Appaloosa. If they're playing a certain spell card that I'm playing in my side deck, you can out these guys, or you can out Dingirsu. You can do quite a bit with it. Then we've got triple Twin Twisters for outing your opponent's back row. Discard a card, destroy 2 spells and traps on the field. This is the card I was talking about, Super Poly. Use monsters on both sides of the field as fusion material, and you can't respond to it, so it's a good way to out your opponent's stuff, but you also have to be careful of it. That's why you have your Ghost Reapers in here as well, to get rid of things they could summon with your stuff. And then we have the 1 ultimate creature of destruction for protecting your Blue Eyes monsters. Anyway, that's it for the profile. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.